So you want to install laminated floor, but you're wondering, can you do it? Let me tell you a secret. Yes, you can. I'm going to make it for you easy in this video so you build a little bit of a confidence that you could do it yourself. What are you going to need? You're going to need the foam that is going to go under your laminated floor. It's not super critical, but it's recommended to have. Home Depot sells it expensive. I bought this one on eBay for $25 for 200 square feet, enough for this room. This is the laminated floor. It's a 7mm or whatever it is. It's just a snap-on. It's like putting a big puzzle together. You're gonna need a little tool like this, which is a claw, especially designed to be able to pull the slats into each other. And you're gonna need a rubber mallet. I got this one from the dollar store. First thing what you're gonna do is rip the carpet out. Clean the room, make as much room possible. After you remove the carpet, clean the area, you're gonna install this really well, and always start from a corner of the room. Do you have to remove the baseboards? If you have enough room under the baseboard, no, you don't have to. On the beginning side of the room. On the end side of the room, yes, you will have to remove the baseboards. Preferably, start from the corner of the room that is the most square. My room is quite square, so that's gonna be my starting corner. That's where I'm gonna start. Make sure you remove all the nails and everything that could make the floor not level properly. How much laminate you need? Very, very easy. All you have to do is just measure the room. This way and this way. Multiply the two together and you will know how much wood you're gonna need. Start in the corner, put the underlayment down, and then start building the wood on top of it. Here's the thing, a lot of people try to tell you that you need some fancy underlayment. The cheapest one will do 95% of the work. If you want to waste your money, go right ahead. But 95% for a fifth of the price always wins for me. Now how do you start? The first piece, a lot of people want to put it all the way in the corner. But if you shove it all the way in the corner, then the baseboard will not allow you to put a second piece. So what you're going to do is build the first line first, right? So get the first line connected, interconnected to each other, and then you slide it into the corner. And with the first line formed, all you have to do is just shove it under the baseboard. So that's it. Now that your first line is done, cut a piece in half. Now sometimes it's not always half. You could measure these things out. In my case, too much measuring, you could just cut it in half and then start with a half piece and then a full piece. That way you interlock them together so they cannot open. If you just put full pieces, the seams will connect to each other, and that's not good because they will start splitting over there. So the trick is to cut one in half, or just start with a smaller piece. When you cut it, you're gonna have a rough part that you cut and the good part that it's not cut. If you started the floor that way, you always keep the rough part towards the wall and then the good part towards wherever the laminated started from. So always keep the same positioning. In my case, this was a full piece. What I've done, cut it in half. I'm not gonna use this piece, not the top. I'm gonna use the bottom. And how you're gonna connect it, it has a little lip over here. You're gonna put it under, and then it will just connect into it. So it will just connect into it, and after that, you're gonna use that little tool to push it under the baseboard. Now, just fill it up with long pieces, the same exact process. Now you're ready to put a secondary full piece. This is a seam from the first layer. We are going on a second layer, so I'm gonna leave it open over here. I'm gonna slide it in. It has to connect in. Now it's gonna connect on this side. Once the seam is connected and you put the piece down, you're gonna notice that you have a little gap over here, and that's why you have the tool to clear that gap. That's the process you're going to follow all the way to the end. How do you know you've done a good job? Is that when you're looking for the seam, you can tell by looking at it, but you can feel it because the plywood will always have a little bit of a raised piece. I'm just about to cut the last piece. You can see this is the last piece. So this is, I'm just making the measurements on it right now. You put it in and you leave this seam over here, which is like about 1/4 of an inch. So you leave this seam over here as you would install them normally. And then here at the door, this is where you have to get tricky. This is the transition piece. This is the piece that's going to go from this laminated wood to this laminated wood. What you want to do is you want to measure, and then you want to cut and leave a little bit of a room. So here I'm going to leave 1/4 of an inch, so 1/4 of an inch from the wood, from the metal piece into the wood, and then plus the extra 1/4 of an inch that you have over here will make it exactly 1/2 of an inch, which will be enough to be covered by this transition piece.
which is going to be pushed in here, but also be deep enough so it's not going to get exposed. And here's my corner piece. Got it installed. Obviously I had to make a couple of cuts over here to get it right. This is the hardest part. There's a special tool for it. I'm going to put a link at the bottom of the video. Special tool so you can get all those little things right, or you can just guesstimate. And now it's time to put this piece on, and basically I'm going to be done with the first 2 rows. At this point you're going to have some pieces left. You could reuse them and start from there, but then it's going to mess up your lines a little bit and save material, or just cut another piece in half and just use a half all the time. I usually use the ends. I get the seams so good together that nobody's gonna see them. So as long as they are like about 1 foot or longer, you can use them. And here it is, guys. It's finished. And I intentionally didn't put any video in between when I first started to right now, because each particular case, it's different. And I cannot show you every corner, because every corner that you're gonna have is gonna be different. The moral of this video though is, don't be afraid to start. Start it up, and then once you get to the corners, you're gonna figure it out. If you have a little bit of a brain, it's gonna be able to allow you to compensate and go around the corners and make the corner work. It took me 2 days. I took my time. I had plenty of time. I had all the stuff still left in the room while I was doing it, so I didn't have to move anything out. And that was the point of the video, is that a lot of people think that, oh, I don't have the room, I'm gonna have professional movers come and get my furniture. I left half of the bed in here and half of the bed is in the living room. When I'm making these videos, what I want to prove is that yes, you can. So I hope you liked this video. Let me show you some close-ups from some corners that some of them look really, really good and some of them maybe not the best. But you know what? For free, it's hard to complain. And this is a corner. This is where I ended up. This is the last corner that I put together. So this is where the room ended. As you can see, you absolutely cannot see where the seams are or where the things get together. Here's another corner that I've cut using just a normal handsaw. So nothing fancy. I'm just going to fill this up with a little bit of a wood putty if I have to, really. But fairly straight lines. Even this corner over here looks good. Very little distance under. This baseboard I never took off. Only this baseboard I took off because I was able to slide under this one. So I don't have to paint or do anything as far as this goes. And here's the room. This is the completed room. I have to bring my bed back in. I already cleaned this side of the room. So I'm gonna remount my bed over here and put everything together the right way. So how much it cost me? Room that is 200 square feet. I got the wood for 99 cents. I could have got a cheaper one, but I decided to go for gray. Cost me $250. That's with padding and all the stuff that I needed. $250. Yes, I had a couple of tools, so it would have cost me maybe $300 if I would have to buy the tools. Now if you get a job like this for somebody to do it for you, $1,000 easy. And here is the final product. The bed is in the room. There's still a couple of things that I have to do. My dog moved in also, so his stuff is in there too. That's how he keeps it. And then the TV has to go on the wall, and I have some spots over there that I gotta fix. So this entire floor looks absolutely awesome. Changed this room completely.